that day?
Well, they had Alex Stepney was still in goal. They had a young lad, Willie Watson, who played right back.
In fact, his last game with Man United, that one, apparently.
Yeah, I can't really remember too much about the lad, but obviously they still had Law, Best and Charlton, and because they'd just brought Ted McDougall, who was a prolific goal scorer in the lower leagues, and Wyn Davis, who was a bit of a handful up front. Martin Buchan, who I think had recently been there as well. So it's still a fairly solid side and one to fear.
And Bobby, here's the Spurs side that you faced that day.
Well, Pat Jennings ever present. Mike England, a big centre-half that they brought in from Blackburn Rovers. A young lad, Michael Dillon, who came in, I think it was maybe his first match this. Steve Perriman, Martin Chivers, who was playing a few matches for England, and of course Martin here and young Ralph Coates.
So, to the kick-off and describing the action, John Motson.
Tottenham in the white shirts to kick off, playing from the right, on a ground where they've got a completely dismal record. In fact, on their last 9 visits to Old Trafford in the league, Spurs have been beaten every time. Pratt beating Law. Now Morgan and Buchan. Tony Dunn for Manchester United. United who've won their last 2 home league games and badly need the points again today. Foul by England on Davis. George Best. Now it's Perriman for Spurs. Chivers. Pratt. Knowles is going to Pratt's left. There goes Pearce for the goal kick. The Stretford end in good voice, despite Manchester United's precarious position in the table. Davis, McDougall. Law. Bringing it back to the best. Davis. It's Pratt keeping it in. Davis in the way. Watson to Morgan. McDougall. Referee having a word with Pratt. Free kick to Manchester United. Watson to take it. Peters to miskicked. Dunn. Chivers to Peters. Got Coates on the right. Evans. Away by Sadler. To Best. And a chance of a break. Davis going to the left, McDougall to the right, still Best. Here's Pratt. Knowles couldn't control it. In these first 15 minutes, neither side showing any penetration near the goal and no score. But here's Best. Ball came off Dillon for a corner. Best with the corner. It's away by Perriman to Pearce. Knowles. Straight through to Peters, Stepney coming out. 1-0. The long ball went straight through. Sadler was marking Chivers, but it went past them both, and there running into the space was Martin Peters. Stepney off the line.
In fact, you said there was a goal coming out as soon as Cyril Knowles had the ball went back into the defence.
I've seen it a few times, and I just took a chance and run, you know, both the central defenders and Chiv missed it, and it went through to me. I got a lucky rebound off of Alec, fell my way, and it was just a tap-in after that.
Change of fortune for Spurs, who've lost on their last 9 visits here. Chivers. This is Pratt. And now Knowles again. This is Pratt. Morgan was a bit slow. Pratt got another chance at that. Now Charlton. This is Tony Dunn breaking. And Morgan now going forward, but Jennings in control and finding Evans. Chivers. Look at the space Coates has got. Perryman. Away by Sadler. Came off the goalkeeper, but Sadler was there. Now Pratt. And that goal seems to have unsettled the Manchester United defence. Coates had plenty of room to make that cross. From Chivers.
Bobby, you're on the rack at this point, aren't you, really? And have been for some time, Man United.
Yes, yes. Defensively, we weren't playing particularly well. There was a lot of indecision, and there was team selection, and the dressing room was okay, but I just felt that Spurs, for the first time, because we were on a bad run, you know, had that little bit of confidence to knock the ball about and cause us all sorts of problems.
Law going outside him. Best. Charlton back to Law. Goal kick. Chivers, Pratt. John Pratt shot, but Martin Chivers already beginning to cause Manchester United 1 or 2 problems. Peters. Chivers. Pratt. Came off Willie Morgan. Number 3 is Knowles. Pierce. Coates. Peters. His second goal. And the Manchester United defence in all sorts of trouble. It started when Jimmy Pierce got that space, turned the ball across. Nobody got it.
You couldn't really miss this one, I suppose, Martin, could you?
Well, it fell to me in the box, went through Alec's legs. I mean, it was just, you know, a messy goal. You know, they gave us a bit of room in the box. Cyril got down the left-hand side, and Jimmy Pierce, they just gave us too much space in the box.
And Manchester United's problems clearly underlined. Martin Buchan giving the orders. Martin Peters will be pleased to score 2 goals himself, but even more pleased that Spurs have begun this match so well. Knowles. Pratt. Shivers. And now Pearce, number 7. Free kick given against Dennis Law. And with 2 goals already gone against them, Manchester United could do without free kicks in this position. 2 Spurs forwards mixing with the wall. Shivers. And again. Good shot and good save. Pearce with the corner. Tottenham at the moment winning more or less as they please, both the ball and the match. This is Pearce. Perryman. Buchan, who was in the way. And a good thing for Manchester United that he was, because Peters and Coates were both waiting to snap up that cross. Shivers calling for it. Charlton. Now Knowles. Perryman. Pearce. Knowles with some space again. Best. Dougal making a run down the middle. Dillon is with him. Pratt. Shivers, Perryman, Shivers again. Buchan coming across, trying to plug the gaps. Having to give away another corner to Tottenham. Evans. And that's still in play with Pearce. Shivers, Peters. A hat-trick.
Well, not many people visit Man United and get away with a hat-trick, Martin.
No, really, you know, they were a bit scrappy goals, really, but to get through there is an honour indeed. But, you know, we had a pretty good side then. We just, as you rightly say, won the UEFA Cup, so we were an embattled side, and we could...
But that third one really caught everyone on the hop, didn't it? Because they thought it was out.
Yeah, I think everyone stopped. And Jimmy Pearce got it, and I just kind of got on the end of it at the far post.
We were having a nightmare then ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, you looked as if...
Defensively, it seemed chaos, you know. There's so much space for all the Spurs players. We really were lucky to get away with the 3, actually, at half-time, because they were completely in control. You know.
And you could almost see the confidence draining away as Tottenham have built up this lead. The slow hand clap starting around the ground. Coates for Spurs. Foul. Martin Buchan. Worried look there on the face of Bobby Charlton, number 11, and no wonder. Coates is onside. Came off Tony Dunn. But once or twice the Manchester United defenders have stopped playing and the whistle has not gone. It happened with the 3rd goal and it happened again then. Shivers. Peters. Oh, and Pearce fell over as he came in. Otherwise he might have made it 4. He slipped and Watson got the ball away. But again the problem was in the air. Knowles. free, Knowles. And again, oh, Stepney looked as if he might have dropped it disastrously, but in fact he hadn't. Here's Best. Charlton. That shot hit Ray Evans, who's down and up again. Nothing. And again a forward run by Dunn. McDougall. Somehow all United's first half frustration summed up by that shot. Things just not going right for them. Shivers in some space again there. The header went straight to Dunn. Now it's Coates. Knowles. Brings to an end the first half in which Spurs have done very much as they pleased and Manchester United have been in terrible trouble. Martin Peters, who scored a hat-trick, all well-taken goals on the one hand, but all defensive errors of one sort or another on the other hand.
So, well-taken goals, Martin.
Well, I mean, they were a bit scrappy goals, weren't they, really? I mean, I just happened to be there at the time, at the right time, the right space, really. I do tend to think, just looking at that game again, though, that the star of that first half was Cyril Knowles, because he created so much havoc down the left-hand side, and I don't think United could handle him, really.
Was this Bill Nicholson trying to create another 1961 side for Spurs?
Well, I don't know. We'd been successful in 71. We won the League Cup. We won the UEFA Cup in 72. So we'd been a side that's been successful. I suppose we could never compete with the 61, 62 side who did the double. But we were a good side, there's no doubt about it.
It must have been painful for you to watch that almost, Bobby, because I can see the despair in your face on the pictures.
Worse than painful, it was agony, that. I mean, we played badly. We played badly, there's no question about that. We probably didn't have the quality players that Tottenham had. And there were lots of changes at the club, lots of coming and going with regard to players. But defensively, you know, once Martin, and he's really good at this, you know, drifting into positions and not being picked up. And of course, he capitalised on our mistakes. We had so many players round about the ball sometimes, you know, but nobody actually went in and defended. And of course, I remember the first goal, Dennis Law was actually playing Martin offside. Dennis Law was a striker, one of the world's greatest strikers, you know. And yet here he was trying to help in defence. We were at all 6s and 7s. It was a nightmare time for us. A horrible start to the season, and it was compounded by his performance. Really.
Well, it gets better in the second half, I think, Bobby.
A little bit, does it?
Oh. Yes, it does, and we'll come back with that in just a couple of minutes. And welcome back to Man United versus Spurs, 1972 at Old Trafford. Not a good year for Man United, losing 3-0 at half-time, all scored by Martin Peters. Here's the second half.
Four men there with troubled faces. George Best nearest the camera. Bobby Charlton managing a smile. Wyn Davis and finally Ted McDougall as United start the second half, 3 goals down. Best. A bit of shirt pulling by Evans. And finally Evans is penalised. Best who gets the free kick. Now McDougall. Dillon coming in to challenge. Did it well. So far he's come through his league baptism, Mike Dillon, extremely well against Ted McDougall. Best to take the corner. Tony Dunn. Best taking over. Charlton. Law. By Jennings. The ball is out of play. It's a corner. Pat Jennings no doubt remembers remembering that this time last year, Dennis Law struck 2 goals past him, and he nearly got one there. Away by Perryman. Now Chivers. Coates making a run down the right. And offside. Another tussle between England and Davis. It's Peters. Perryman. Watson in the way. Now Best. And Morgan taking on Perryman, but not beating him. So it's Best again. Shirt pulling by Knowles, still Best, that hit Evans. And Best appealing to the referee that his shirt was pulled. But he did keep possession at first, and now it's Coates for Tottenham. Perryman. And Spurs with 3 goals to play with getting a bit too casual. Dillon's attempted crossfield pass struck Best. Now Pearce chasing. It was Buchan. Law. Best going past Pratt. Now it's Evans. Done. McDougall, Charlton.
Well, baby, that's one of the few goals you don't remember.
No, I didn't remember that at all. In mind, I think in mind was on the performance that we were all putting up, really. It came across actually a position that I would not normally have taken hadn't I been so serious. I would have never gone as forward as that. But anyway, it bounced for me, and I happened to be in the place and screwed it in. Yep.
It doesn't take much to get this crowd behind United again. And listen to them now. That's a foul by Sadler on Chivers. Knowles. Peters. Referee waving play on. Is he? No, he stopped it. There was something going on between Peters and Law. Referee calming it down.
Can you remember the conversation you had at that point, Martin?
I don't remember that at all, no.
What might you have said, do you think,
Dennis trying to upset me when I scored 3 goals? I don't know. This was pretty volatile.
Yeah. Unusual for Dennis to argue.
Really?
Yeah. I'm only joking. You're supposed to pick that up there, Dick, you know.
Yes, I know. Well, I think I was joking too. I mean, Dennis is a very volatile player.
Yeah, he was. And he was hard work, Dennis. But to see him in the middle of the field was rather strange.
Yes.
No.
So he was a hard player to play against when he was playing up front. Oh, what a good player.
Davis. Buchan. McDougall. Comes out to Best. Best getting it back. Charlton. Davis. Deflection. And Jennings grabbing it. But suddenly, inspired by that Stretford end, Manchester United have remembered how to attack. Straight through to Stepney, that kick from Jennings. But straight to Coates from Stepney. Now Best. That's meant to McDougall. He's got a chance here. Goalkeeper's out. But Jennings did enough to stop McDougall. And young Dillon was back there covering the goalkeeper. Chivers. Manchester United's ball. A field for offside was given then, although Wyn Davies had tried to get back. Pierce. Pratt. Number 8, Perryman. Coates. Going past Dunn. Peters. Pierce. Charlton. Tony Dunn in the attack again. Dougal calling for a through ball. Dillon across. This is Best. Dougal. Good thing that Jennings held it with Davis right there. Dougal's shot.
Well, a couple of chances, Bobby. I mean, 3-1 down now. Another goal now would make a vast difference.
It would have been. I mean, if we had had this attitude in the first half, we'd have never have been 3 goals down, and that's what a lot of supporters will think. You know, how could you play so badly one half and so well the next? Everybody now wants the ball. If we'd have got a goal in this period, who knows, we might have even saved the game. You know?
I mean, slow hand claps in the first half, and then the crowd totally behind you at this moment because they sense something might happen.
Well, because the players are trying and they're putting a lot more thought and a lot more effort into the game. It's as simple as that.
Knowles. Pratt. Evans coming up to Pratt's right, number 2. Perryman. Evans. Chivers. Martin Chivers, who headed a goal at that end for Tottenham in the corresponding match last season. Spurs were beaten 3-1, the score by which they now lead. So it's back with Knowles. Morgan's challenge, now McDougall. Did well to keep it. Finally, Dillon is there. McDougall was all on his own then. And young Mike Dillon, who's marked him very faithfully, got the ball away. Best with the throw. Davis. Still Best. Davis. Jennings not really challenged. Chivers' header. Buckham's there. Watson. Davis. Morgan going down the right. Manchester United throw. Charlton. It's a goal kick. Chivers. Watson. Morgan taking on Knowles. He's slipping in nicely and cleanly. 3 other forwards up with him. McDougall. Powerful header, but Jennings was just in the right place. It was straight at him. Peters. Number 11, Ralph Coates. Pratt. And Law. Best. Watson. Putting himself in trouble against Knowles. The goalkeeper's well off the line and did well. Stepney took the chance, cut down the angle and blocked the shot. Defenders moving out. Still Knowles. Peters! He's made it 4.
And Fred strike in that match, 4 goals, and yet you were not the natural striker, naturally.
No, no way. I mean, Bill Nick just changed it that day. I don't know why. I think Gilly was not playing quite so well, and they played me up wide on the right. I mean, I'm not quick enough, never ever been quick enough to play up front. But drifting in, I mean, no one picked me up there. I think they just let me run there, and hoping I'd gone offside, and that was must be the better goal of the 4, really.
Yes, I suppose the best
That wasn't too spectacular, but...
How many people can you remember have scored 4 against you at Old Trafford?
No, nobody. I don't remember anybody ever scoring 4. I remember Ferenc Puskas when Real Madrid played a friendly and they beat us 5. And I think he might have scored 3 or 4, but he's the only person. He was great striking, you know. And I mean, he was in there. He tries to sort of play it down, Martin, but there were really good strikers' goals, and he was a striker then.
And the referee went towards his pocket then. Here's Charlton. Whoever blocked that shot is still out on the ground, but Dougal, England back. But the Tottenham trainer, John Wallace, now coming on.
So you've got this player writhing on the deck, Bobby, after that free kick.
Well, it was a bit of a desperation from my part. I mean, if the wall had broken up, you know, maybe I would have scored. But you just hit it as hard as you can. To be honest, I hit it straight in the wall. It wasn't a very good free kick.
A quick word, too, from the referee.
Ralphie, was it?
But Best will take the corner for Manchester United, given away by England. Law was up. Now Dunn. Best. We were saying at the beginning how things change in a year. Exactly a year ago, he scored 2 against Tottenham, and 1 was from almost that position. And Spurs want to bring on their substitute, Jimmy Neighbour, who played in the first team a number of times last season, had 14 league appearances. This will be his first of this season, and Ralph Coates, who took that heavy blow, is the man that comes off. Bill Nicholson, the Tottenham manager, just shaking his hand, and Jimmy Neighbour, number 12, is on. The final whistle. From a Spurs point of view, Bill Nicholson was saying earlier this week they played well away from home without getting the results they've deserved. Well, they've certainly got one today. 4 goals to 1, their first win here since 1963. Martin Peters making it a personal triumph with 4 goals. And as far as Manchester United are concerned, a dismal first half performance lifted by their revival at the beginning of the second. But Franco Farrell knows as well as anybody the problems that exist, and this merely went to re-emphasise them.
He hasn't changed at all, is he? Walking off the pitch, it looks exactly the same as he does now.
Exactly.
Hair's a bit shorter.
But 2 great games for quite different reasons. I mean, you had a great win against West Ham in the first one, and then 4 goals by you in the second one, Martin. But good footballing games.
Yes, yes. I enjoyed playing against him, and I enjoyed seeing him play. I was always impressed with Martin, but people often ask, you know, which were the best matches you actually played with people or against people, and I always remember Martin. the cross that he put in for Jeff Hurst to score the only goal when we beat Argentina in 1966, which got us into the semi-final.